All right. Well, welcome to today's mastermind. We are talking about strategic planning. Yay! It's so fun. It is fun. It is a blast. So let's do a quick check-in. And let's see, I know that we've got some new members on here. Some of them aren't on here. But let's just do a quick check-in and let's check in this way. Just say hi and let me know what you are looking forward to in today's mastermind. Okay. Is there something in particular that you want to learn, or is there something that you've had a challenge with as far as your planning for your business? So go ahead and put that out, and we'll see if we can make sure that we hit on those things. So Rachel, why don't you start us off first?
Hi, I'm Rachel, Hershey, Pennsylvania area. I got a little upset with myself this week. The beginning of the week, I missed the Mastermind class, or the Ready, Set, Succeed class Zoom call, because I was ill and was asleep when I got the text alert that the session was happening. And I was like kicking myself. I'm like, it's once a month, so I was really frustrated with myself about that. But I'm like, okay, it's a new day, it's a new session, start again. So just, I guess, what are tips for consistency versus stopping and restarting would be a question that I would have.
Okay, in terms of your business strategy?
In terms of life. The hardest thing about a habit is getting it to be a habit. So.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to capture this in our chat here too. So when we're talking about business strategy, strategic plan, you want to know what are some tips for starting, stopping, and consistency? I said in work and life. Okay, is that correct?
Well, stopping, like how to have consistency versus stopping,
okay,
pausing, starting from scratch because you've lost that momentum.
Okay.
All right. How to keep momentum would be a more succinct way to have it.
Yeah. Can I give you a quick answer on that?
Sure.
You schedule it in.
No, that's actually really helpful. So.
Yeah. I mean, just when I think about every year when I do strategy, I purposely plug in times for me to step out so that I can think about what I'm doing. And then there are times, I have times that I block my time. I find that one reason why people struggle with starting and stopping is because they think that they just got to go, go, go. And then they burn themselves out, and then they stop because they're feeling resentment or they're feeling overwhelmed. And then then they do exactly what you did, beat yourself up because you are human and you got sick. And then, so then you start again, and it snowballs the guilt and all that. So it's really about making that a part of your strategy. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go to Catherine. Hey, Catherine. Hey.
Hi, Angie. Well, I have never really created a strategic plan, at least on paper. It's usually been in my head. So that's what I'm looking to do.
Okay. Well, you're coming in at the perfect time for what we're doing. You can use this for any point in your business, whether you're starting now or you've been in business for 10 or 20 years. Working through this strategy each year helps you to really refine what you need to be focused on. When I first started out, I didn't have a plan. I did not write a business plan. I did not say, here's my strategy and, here's what my budget's going to be. I just started business. Now, in some ways that was really awesome because it fit who I was. But in other ways, I realized that, I had to go back and do some rework, because I wasn't planning. Planning it's your friend. It feels like it's real heavy when you do it, but it is so worth it because it helps you to be focused. I mean, even if you are, so like Amy, you're on the corporate scene, and I mean, you can even use this strategic plan just for your own life in your, working for your corporation. It doesn't, I mean, it can be applied to almost any situation. Okay, so speaking of Amy, hey Amy, what do you want to get out of today? And take yourself off mute.
Sorry. Hi. So I'm actually transitioning from corporate to entrepreneurship, and I have a
I knew it.
I have a 6-month social media strategy, and I have the business strategy all in my head and on a million Post-it notes.
Yep.
But I haven't really sat down and structured it out.
Okay. Awesome. Well, this is definitely going to help you in that process. Very good. All right, Beth Barrett.
Hi, Beth Barrett. I love to plan, so that's not a real problem for me. It's more about executing the plan and keeping myself accountable. So I'd love to talk about like some of those check-ins and maybe milestones, but I'm really excited to see what buckets and process that you've got to share with us.
Okay. So for the planner, always looking for ways to refine your strategic planning and to become even more detailed and analytical.
No, how to make your plan come alive. I think that's what I need help with.
Okay. All right. I get it. All right. Well, we can definitely do that. All right, Catherine Clift.
Well, since I've never done any strategic planning on business whatsoever, I really don't know what to ask, but I guess what I'm focusing on is overwhelm and focus.
Yeah. So, Catherine, even someone who is a red on the color success signal and spontaneous like you can benefit from a certain amount of planning.
I'm sure.
We can't guarantee that you're going to follow all the plan, but you will get some things out of this to help you to have a few focus areas.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Lucy.
Hi. I think what I'm looking forward the most is to know all these beautiful new members we have. I'm so excited, and I am also excited about all of the strategies that Angie is gonna teach me to get going with the events on the center, which we are already getting booked up for 2021.
Yay. Yeah. So the plan that you see today, Lucy, it's very similar to what we're doing. Our VIP team members are getting together tomorrow to do strategic planning together, and we're using a very similar format.
Great.
All right. Dee Dee McGuire.
I'm on my phone today, so sorry for the weird angles. I keep trying to figure out what's the right angle. I've had technology nightmare this whole week, but I'm here. I'm alive. I'm well. So for me, what I want to get out of this session is truly building the foundation of my business.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of do the vision board thing, but like that's not my business. So I feel like, and then through the last few months, like great things have like fell in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm working at the same time, but I haven't really built a foundation. So I want things to like meet in the middle, so I can actually be like an established business. So
Mm-hmm.
just even balancing all that. So the worksheet that you created for today, this is so awesome for me because I literally feel like I just need to start from the very beginning and even look at purpose, vision, and mission.
Yeah.
And literally take some time in the next 3 weeks and literally like nail out what my business strategy is Don't worry about being perfection. Don't worry about making myself think I have to do it like this for the next 30 years. Just putting something together and just like having a true foundation.
Okay. All right. Well, so we're going to, we're going to work through some of this today, just to be clear. There will be more that, like, it's the next part, the more future state that's happening next Friday.
Okay.
And I am going to offer an extended 30 minutes on next week's session so that you can really get a good head start on this before the end of the year. Okay. Some of this we're going to walk through, you're going to work on in between now and our next session. Okay. So this is a great start to really look at the foundation. And a lot of times when we have an entrepreneurial spirit, we tend to do it all backwards. We like jump ahead and jump off the cliff into business ownership and like, woo, I'm here. Oh, I really should have planned that. So this helps you to check out how your foundation is going, and then if they're earning cracks, or if there's even any uneven parts that you need to smooth out so that it just goes better. All right, thank you. All right, Christina Faroli.
Hi there. Well, I actually have a business plan with mission, vision, and purpose, but I think I want to revisit it because I wrote it before COVID. And I think COVID's brought a lot of things up to the surface.
Yes.
Especially business-wise. So I basically want to streamline it. So I've done strategy for my work and for organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the whole process, and it is important because sometimes people get mission and vision reversed and confused, and that can make a huge difference. But I think I want to just be able to more fine tune mine and make sure it's really where I want to be working. Because like we're out here, and I think I may need to go back to where I've always been and kind of reevaluate what that purpose is.
Yeah. So, and here's one thing I want to say about that. I know, so I remember like being in corporate, and even as a consultant, when I first got out and started consulting, working in organizational development on your purpose, your vision, and your mission. And it can get really, really formal, and you lose sight of, hey, why am I in business? So what you're going to notice in this strategic plan is we're just trying to be clear on what our purpose is in business and what that vision is. So the vision and mission that you want to put on your website, that's a whole nother ball game, but I don't want us to get wrapped around the axle around that. So we're going to take that up to a higher level so that we can focus on what we really like to do. And that's figuring out what we're supposed to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Okay. Pauline.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm on my phone too with no picture, and I don't know how to do that. I'm actually in the caregiver mode with my mom, so you just have to bear with me.
Okay.
As far as strategic, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, something popped up on my screen. I can't unsee it.
It was me asking you to start your video. Sorry, the timing wasn't good.
Well,
there you are.
See me, really?
Yes.
That's sweet. Oh, okay. Now a better angle anyway.
Right.
All right. So strategic planning. When I first started thinking about fresh eyes proofreaders, I did a lot of research and to see what the market is, what the demand is, and did a lot of business research with the Small Business Administration and doing things that way. And that's one of their main things about beginning a business is strategic planning. But as somebody else had mentioned earlier, when they started the business, all these other opportunities just started opening up, which is what happened to me as well. So I got busy doing the transaction piece and doing some further research on another topic. So now I'm having trouble setting aside time to plan it, like you said earlier, to put it into your schedule, to schedule time to really be strategic. So I made a list of, when I was focused on the fresh eyes, I made a list of things to do. And as I accomplished those things, I would mark them off or highlight them or whatever, keeping track of expenses and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
But I kind of got away from why, why am I doing this?
Mhm.
And kind of focusing more on the other opportunities. So I did, you'll be proud of me, I did start on working on my website. So
Good.
it is not there by any stretch, but I did at least look on other editors and proofreaders' websites and got some really good ideas.
Mhm.
But creative, I am not. So it's just going to be plain and simple.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, let's see. We've got Esther on here.
Hi. So I am driving, so I apologize. I'm not on video, and so I like strategizing and I like planning. So this is right up my alley, but I certainly am nowhere near having a strategic plan. So I am looking to put more structure to what I envision, put
Mhm.
pen to paper, and then because my so just to do that. And one of the things is to get clarity on the purpose, because I started working on the worksheet and I was like, oh, okay. So just to work through what you have in front of us, and like I said, put pen to paper.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Did I get everybody? I'm doing a quick scan. Looks like I got everybody. Okay. I am going to share my screen now with our little documente. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quick drive-by of the whole document that you have here, which is actually part 1 and 2 of 4 parts for your strategic plan for business. Okay, so I'll do a walkthrough, and then we're actually going to work on the clear purpose and vision today. We'll work in partners on that. But I want to go through the document very quickly to see if there are any clarifying questions about what you're reading. Okay, I'm not going to get bogged down in that, but my intention is that when we come back together the next time, if you, as you're working through, if you got caught up on something, we can talk about that and iron all of that out. All right. So basically, we've got top 5 reasons to have a business strategy for the year, and I'm glad to hear all of your reasons, but it really does help you to articulate your business vision and mission. What I love about this is it does help you to analyze your business. If you're starting your business, it helps you to get started on the right foot. Everything doesn't have to be written perfectly. So I want you to, if you have that mindset that if you're Pauline and you got to be the proofreader on your strategy right now, you don't have to dot all of your I's. Okay. It's really just getting something down and working with it from there. It does help you to focus on what's most important. 20% of what we spend our time on equals 80% of our result. You all have heard me say that before. Now, you may be saying, well, why not 100% of my focus? Well, because when you run a business, you're not just working with clients. You're not just providing services. There are so many things, operational aspects that you have to spend time in, the administrative pieces. It's learning how to sell what you're offering. All of these things take up time, but so really taking a big piece of what you do and focusing in on it, it's going to get you more targeted results. And what I love about this too is it helps you to think about what you need more of and what you need less of. So, and the end result is it's going to give you a roadmap to follow for next year, and it also establishes your goals. If you are smart, you are at least quarterly coming back and looking at this document and saying, okay, where did I have to shift? Or, where am I off track with this? Or is this really relevant now? This year was a very unusual year because of COVID. It caused many of us who were in business, caused us to have to make some major shifts in our plans and what our strategies were. So for example, VIP Center. We are a co-working event, meeting space, Airbnb, in addition to all of the things that we do to coach women. Well, we have a lot of in-person events and people have come to the VIP Center. Well, when COVID happened, all of a sudden that has changed the way that we're having to do business and operate. So you may be impacted by that too, like Christina, for example. So we got to be thinking about how do you mitigate that? All right. 4 parts of the business strategy. So we've got the clear purpose and vision, what your current situation is, which is what we're going to try to get hit on 2. And then number 3 and 4, which we'll hit on next week, what you want your future state of the business to be, and more of the tactical operations that get you to number 3 on this list. We reverse this. We tend to just go out and say, okay, I'm going to do this activity and I'm going to do this activity. And we're trying to reverse engineer it or start at the wrong place. So we're going to do this right. Okay. On this form, I'm going to skip over some of these questions because we're going to hit clear purpose and vision. That's what we're going to work on. When I'm asking you these questions, I really want you to dig deep. This isn't a check the box. How would you describe where you are in business? Oh, I'm in a pretty good place. Things are going along pretty well. You need to provide more substance than that when you're answering these questions. Like, I'm at the beginning of my business. Here are the things that I'm really concerned about right now. Here are the things that I know I need to do. So it's really digging deep and writing in this. There's something that happens when it gets transferred from your brain to paper. It's a different scenario. When you see it, your brain wakes up even more than if you're just letting it swirl around in your head like Amy was talking about. So I want you to be thinking about what's working and what's exciting and positive. So even if you're just starting out, like Catherine Hay, you're just starting out, you're just really on the cusp of starting this thing. You don't have to be in the middle of your business to answer that question. It could be, I'm excited about getting clients. Here's where I'm feeling my energy going. And then, even right at this point, no matter where you're in the business, what's not working for you? This is a big one, especially if you are already in business or you've stepped out into business and you're trying to put it together. Pauline, you're talking about, oh, I'm doing my website, but it's kind of painful.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So you want to identify all of those pain points. And then for all of us spontaneous reds and browns, the big ideas, thoughts, and crazy possibilities, this tends to be our favorite box right here. What are the big ideas, thoughts? So Catherine, you'll probably have a field day with that box. But then what happens is we break it down into your current business state. Now, I've separated, you may be thinking profitability and budget. Well, these are definitely 2 separate categories, because when we're looking at profitability, I'm asking you a very, very simple question. What does your profitability look like right now? Well, if you're starting business, you probably have 0, and that's fine. If you've been in business for a while, or even if you've been doing your business as a side hustle, do you have some profitability? Have you made any money on this? If so, where are you profitable? Where are you not? What are the biggest impacts? So you're going to see that this is just a pattern in the way that we're asking these questions. Budget. When I first started out in business, I didn't have a budget. I didn't sit down and say, oh, here's where I'm going to spend my money. Here's what I'm going to do. that first year, I really just ventured out and I just, just started working it to see what I could do in the first year. So I want you to know that there's no shame in that. You don't have to walk away from this saying, well, I'm going to have this advertising budget kind of thing. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to have that. Business development. So what are you currently, if you're starting your business, have you done anything? And if you haven't, that's fine, but what have you thought about? So it doesn't have to be just activity. It can be, what have you thought about doing? Where are you thinking right now? Advertising and marketing, same thing. Branding. So, think about your brand as it stands right now. Maybe you've been in business for a while and your brand has evolved. Well, what exactly has happened in that brand? Dee Dee, you came out into consulting, and you've been trying to establish a brand. What is that brand? Social media. This is a good question to analyze right now, because right now with our whole world going virtual, social media is more important than ever. And have you done anything? Are you posting just on your personal page? Or have you even created a business page for this? What do you need to do there? And then operations. So you can look at this from the standpoint of, what have you been doing? But if you're brand new to business, you may not have a handle on what your operations should be, but this is a great category to jump into, because there's a question with, where are you spending your time? Think about whether you're in business or not, and it's going, how are you spending your time right now? Because if you're doing work in your business this time next year, the way that you're spending time, it should be looking differently. We have habits. We are creatures of habit. And so if we're spending a lot of time right now just researching and looking stuff up, and that's the way that our brain is wired, guess what you're going to struggle with next year? You're going to struggle with spending all of your time researching and never really getting your business off the ground. So we have to go ahead and look at this for what it is. And then I have a category on here that some of you might have said, oh, that's nice. That's a little bit of surprise. But planning for your personal and professional development and growth. This is such a critical area. And a lot of times business owners don't think about, especially women. We tend to not think about how to nurture ourselves and give ourselves the oxygen mask. But in order to be successful and refreshed, this is something that you have to continue to invest in yourself, and so that you can get a return on investment on your health and your well-being. Then we've got a blank for other focus areas that we haven't identified. At the end of this, when we come back together next week, I want you to capture some key points here that you want to talk about in our next session. Okay. So that was a quick drive-by. Before we jump into discussions, who has some questions just about the way that I've laid out this strategy document or any of the topics? Let me see here. I want to be sure I can see all of you. Anybody have any questions?
What's the difference between vision and mission?
Well, and that is exactly the piece that I don't want to get caught up in.
Okay.
Because we could spend a lot of time doing that. I can simplify it by saying, when we think about vision, this is what you want the future of your business to look like. The mission is, hey, how are you actually going to get there? Yeah. So, but all underneath all of this is our purpose. All right. So we're going to dig into this. By the way, how many of you are in my 52 Weeks to Calm Facebook group? Okay. If you're in that group, I want you to go back and watch today's Facebook Live, because I talked about 5 surefire ways to know that you're operating in your purpose. And it will be a good one to help you to set the stage for this, okay? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to get started with the opening discussion. So I'm going to have you, we're going to do a very quick 5-minute discussion, and we're going to do it in partners, okay? So I'm going to put you into groups right now. Remember, it's only 5 minutes, so you'll want to be mindful of the time with your partner. Make sure that you're giving your partner plenty of time.
Hi, I got kicked off my internet.
Oh no. Okay, well, we're getting ready to come back. Were you able to have a conversation?
Catherine's back. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Catherine's my partner.
Okay.
I was going to say we couldn't hear each other. We had some technical difficulties.
Oh, what is going on?
Eating.
Okay. Well, we're bringing everybody back anyway, so.
All I heard was Rachel said, "My purpose for my business is," and that's all I heard.
Well, you can go ahead and share that, because it's going to take 1 minute. They get 60 seconds, so you can share that with each other.
Well, I was saying, not to be flippant, but the reason I'm in business is because I want to make more money than you can make in a job, because my passion is to be a philanthropist, to give money away.
Mhm.
And I can't do that in a just over broke. You
Right.
know? Even if I was, and I am a good budgeter and I am a good saver, but even if I was the best at that, there's a ceiling to a job, to a salary cap, to a rate, it's what the job's worth. It's not what I'm worth. Being an entrepreneur lets me explore what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just gave myself chills.
That's right. Well, those are tremendous reasons to be in business. I mean, it really creates, it's going to be the fuel and the motivation for you.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm in business because I love coaching and I want to impact as many people as possible and change their lives.
Very good. Simply put. All right, everybody's coming back. All right, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. Okay, so someone share what you heard from your partner about why they're in business.
Well, Catherine loves to coach and she wants to impact as many people as she can.
Okay.
And Rachel wants to make as much money as she can because she wants to be a philanthropist and give it away.
That's good.
Okay, someone else share.
Amy has a very unique business idea, and I applaud her for addressing that, for making clothes for hard to fit women, and that is awesome. And she has a passion for meeting that market niche.
Fantastic, fantastic. One more.
Also has a passion. You could see it like just for like the legacy and the actual enjoyment of it. Like she just enjoys what she does.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't want to like breeze through this part, because if we're talking about creating a solid foundation for your business, this is like the cement of of the foundation here. So we're gonna jump back into breakout rooms, and what I want you to do is we are gonna jump into question number 2. Specifically articulate what your business purpose is in 3 bullet points. Okay. Now, when I say your business purpose, I mean, what is it that you're going to be doing for other people, or how will your product or service help others, or, what's the benefit? So what is the purpose of your business? This can be, now it can be fluffy too. It can be on the fluffy side if you want. I want to heal the world of acne, I mean, or whatever it is. Okay, so we're going to jump right back in. 5 more minutes answering the 3 bullet points. Question number 2. Okie dokie. All right, so let me pick on Dee Dee.
Okay.
I was about to say, boy, I wish I would have recorded that, but hey, guess what? We did record that. Okay, so the assignment was to specifically articulate what your business purpose is in 3 bullet points. So what did you come up with?
Okay. Oh, for me, or what Christine? Oh, what I came up with for me?
Yes.
Okay. So I provide a safe and reflective space for leaders to define their leadership philosophy. I advocate and coach heart-centered leaders. And this last one's kind of choppy. I also help individuals to understand they have a purpose, help them identify their purpose, as well as create a plan that's fulfilling, that is aligned with their authentic core of who they are.
Great. That 3rd bullet point is dead on in terms of you're being really specific about what your purpose is. And I love that. I think the other 2, they're fine. We want these to be really strong in saying what you do,
Okay.
what the purpose of the business is. So that's good. Someone else want to share? Let's hear from Pauline.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, I think that my overarching mission is to help authors, writers, to be able to confidently publish a polished work that is professional. So I see myself growing, my business growing, not to just proofread what's already there, but to provide just the right word or just the right sentence structure that's going to keep their unique, to grow the business into be a copy editing business also, so that they maintain their unique style and their purpose or what their thoughts are, while coming across polished and professional.
Okay. So I love especially what you said at the very first, what I would consider your first bullet point, and that it's really specifically around authors, writers, to help them to have a professional and polished product that actually that they can send to print, is the way that I would sum up what you said. And then the second bullet point, you have a purpose around not just, really being a copy and editing advisor to people who are writing things for publication, whether it be a blog or it's legal documents or whatever it is. So I like that specificity. And the reason why I'm trying to get us here is because everything that you do, you'll always want to come back up to this second question, specifically articulate what your business purpose is. You always want to measure it and align it against that. Even next year, when you come back and you say, okay, let me see how I'm doing right now. Let me come up here. Am I really aligning with these 3 bullet points or these 2 bullet points? I mean, you don't have to have 3, but are you really aligning with that? When you're not starting out with a business plan, you tend to just go all over the place. And what happens is you stretch yourself thin and you think that you can do everything. And then you find out you're doing a lot of things that you don't like and you're miserable at. And people know that. They feel it. They know when you are truly stepping into your purpose and what you're supposed to do and what you're designed to do. And they know when you're not. And so they're going to go with the person who is the expert and who is very good at what they do. Okay. Anyone else want want to throw in a purpose bullet point that you think, man, this really nails it for me?
Well, I can describe Esther's.
Okay.
Esther said that she wants to help people create a mindset to find positive connections with work and life. And she also wants to help people who are making career transitions.
Okay. All right. So with that, I just want to make sure we add a little bit more meat to that. So Esther, I just happened to do your copy and messaging. The great thing about your website is you can always go back and, pull your purpose there.
Yep.
So it's helping people to transition. It's helping people to, I like what you say about, it's about helping them to make positive connections. And I want to encourage you to go back to your website and look to see if you can pull some more from that, some more specificity to that.
Yeah, I was actually, if you had called me out, I would have said, hey, go look at my website.
Right. Yeah, I want you to memorize your website.
I know.
Get that your website. Yeah.
Yeah. So consistency can also be cultivated by, for those of you, you've got your website, you've got your business, or if you don't have this now, you'll have it soon, but your business Facebook page, it should all align. And your language that you're speaking to people, it should all align. When you speak what your purpose is and what you do in business, somebody should be able to go to your website and see the copy on there and see that consistent message. They need to see that it's consistent and simple. So this business purpose actually bleeds out into everything else that you do. It bleeds out into your social media. It's consistent and it aligns with everything on your website, with your lead generation that you're doing, everything. So that's important. Okay, I'm going to ask one more question, and we can do this large group. Who is designed to be impacted by your purpose? Now, I'm going to tell you the wrong answer is, oh, whoever, everybody. That's not it, okay? So who specifically is designed to be impacted by your purpose? Christina.
People with digestive health issues.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else that you can think of?
This is where I get confused because I'm trying to not serve the world.
Right.
And I know it really helps when you are specific. Because the more I really look at, even if it's like life coaching, there's still some descriptors, and I feel like there's still like corporate professional individuals who have made a certain amount of money, who are used to professional development, even if it's like life self-development.
Mhm.
That is who I resonate with, and I kind of had some weird shame about that. I don't know why. It's weird, I know, but that's who I resonate with.
Yeah.
And so I feel weird sometimes when I'm like corporate people, or do you know what I mean? And I'm not defining corporate. I feel like that's kind of a mindset. So if it resonates with people, they'll opt in. But I think I sometimes go back and forth with saying corporate or professional individuals, or so that one kind of makes me back up a little bit.
Well, so you can, when I think about your audience, I mean, you deal with people in corporate environments. So that's number one. You also deal with people in corporate environments who are already in the HR space. And you like to work with those groups to help them to maybe envision strategy or, leadership training. So you're calling out, in that sense, you're calling out a specific group, but where we've got to rein it in, we can't say, oh, well, I work with corporate people, I work with stay-at-home moms, I work with restaurant owners. So see, that's like the Alabama style of business. Those of you know me, I lived in Alabama for a long time, and as soon as you cross the line in Alabama, you see the gas station, barbecue, and hair salon all in one building, right? So we've got to avoid that.
Okay.
But I think that you're safe to say that you work with people in corporate environments, and you can drill down specifically. I work with leaders and I work with HR teams.
Okay.
You could even say, I work with women leaders, if you want to niche it down that way.
Okay.
And as you go on, Dee Dee, you're going to figure out who it is.
Okay.
You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure all that out.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Amy, who do you work with, or who are you going to work with? Got to come off mute.
Hey, Angie, I got to drop off.
Okay, Pauline.
I'm sorry.
No worries. Bye.
My products will be for busty women.
Okay, great. That's very specific. You're not going to have any problem getting people's attention with that. People are going to know exactly who they're talking about.
Yeah, and that's not where I started. I started just with professional workwear, and I just kind of kept diving.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just because you've niched that down, you're going to have great success because you have a no pun intended, but you're going to have a big focus.
Let me know if you need a model.
Amen.
Okay, yes.
I won't be being your model. Oh, okay, very good, very good. So that's something that I want all of you to really give thought toward in between this week and next week. And then I want you to go ahead and start plugging this in, plugging in your thoughts on all of these. I want you to dig into your current business state with these items. I want you to answer the questions. If you feel like you're dropping off and you're just putting an answer to put an answer, stop, walk away, let your brain reset, even come back and visit it the next day and attack it again. Okay. All right. And go all the way down. If you get down to the exercise where I say, envision your future, jot down a few thoughts on what you want to achieve next year. You can absolutely do that. And I'll have parts 3 and 4 ready for you. I have to do a cleanup of a document that has a bunch of notes in it. So I'll have that ready for you for next week. We'll talk about this, and then I'll get you started on the next piece. All right, everybody, that's what I have for you today. So stay tuned for the rest of the story next week.